fully and completely focus on the image that you send into the mirror of the world. You will be constantly checked. Do you really want this? Release your grip and let the world move with the flow of options. Nice to meet you, friends. My name is Lisa Grail and I welcome you on my channel. Last time I started with analysis of my favorite method of managing reality transurfing by Vadim Zeland. Today I will continue discussion of transurfing principles and give examples from life. Please begin with my first video so you can understand the following information. Last time we stopped at the discussion of the fourth principle of transurfing, which sounds like this. The mirror simply states the content of the attitude to the world, ignoring its orientation. Why is it considered that sandwich always falls butter down? Why everything that we don't want at all and are striving to avoid happens anyway? Why all our greatest fears are implemented? The answer is in the fourth principle of transurfing. In the mirror of the world are reflected and gradually carried out not only our desires and goals, but also our reluctance, fears, and all sorts of troubles to which we are paying too much attention. The mirror of the world doesn't care what to reflect, the positive image or negative one. It only obediently agrees with everything that you're sending to it and reflects your thoughts. If you constantly think that they are cutting everyone and then they will fire me too, or no, not again, I don't want to get sick, I'm afraid to catch cold, you significantly increase your chances of dismissal or catching cold. Life example. Every time the novice driver got behind the wheel, he terribly worried and was afraid to get into an accident, and often colorfully imagined how he collides with someone else's car. The thoughts of fact that he drives beautifully didn't work well because they were completely blocked by vivid images of the accidents that the driver involuntarily but systematically scrolled through his head. It's not surprising that once this fear became reality, he wasn't injured, but his brand new car was broken so it couldn't be restored. You know, I'm convinced too that the space of variance of this world attracts events to us according to our expectations. For example, if you consider that all men are assholes and women are bitches, believe me, this is what you will attract to your life. Sometimes it's difficult to turn off negative expectations regarding life because we are facing troubles many times and bummers more than once in our life. But knowing this principle of transurfing, you can at least avoid some unnecessary likelihood of bad scenarios. Fifth principle of transurfing. Attention should be fixed on the final goal, as if your intention had already been realized. Do you remember the ancient Greek myth about Orpheus and Eurydice? When his beloved wife died from the snake bite, Orpheus went to the kingdom of the dead to visit Hades and begged him to let Eurydice go. Hades agreed, but with one condition: if Orpheus looks back at least once, leading his wife out of the kingdom of shadows, she will remain dead forever. The exit from the underground was already very close when Orpheus couldn't stand it and turned around to check whether the shadow of his beloved goes behind him or not, and he lost her forever because of his doubts and impatience. Very tragic story. The same idea is hidden in the fifth principle of transurfing. Moving towards the goal, you should think about the final result as if your intention had already been realized and not allow doubts to prevail. Don't rush things, don't clutch at what you want with a dead grip. Fully and completely focus on the image that you send into the mirror of the world, the image of your goal. Get ready for checks and provocations. You will be constantly checked. Do you really want this? Can you afford to make big money, for example? Energy pendulums will knock you down, leading you away from your goal. They will fight for your attention and energy, like with the purpose to distract you in any case from your goal, from your way. So instead of writing your book, you will find yourself watching stupid TV series. But focusing on your ultimate goal should really help. It's not bad to have a rest or relax a little, but please do it with awareness and set time limit for your rest and then go back to business. The sixth principle of transurfing. Release your grip and let the world move with the flow of options. Imagine that you are a participant of a very interesting quest in which you will become a winner in any case. The only question is which way will lead you to this victory. Listen to the world around you. Notice signs, symbols. Listen to the words of random passers-by. If you are offered something, don't rush to refuse. If you're advised, think about it better. The series of insignificant at first glance events can lead you to finish this quest, that is, to achieve your goal. So most important to treat this as an exciting game that will end in your favor anyway. In the real world, you continue to move towards your goal, rearranging your legs and taking specific actions. But at the same time, you don't grab your world by the throat. You don't demand, don't rush, don't insist. You just leave and calmly go about your business. Loosen your grip, trust the universe, and then all the doors will open before you. Life example. The successful businessman believed that the whole business depends only on him. And if he retire or go on vacation at least for a while, then everything will fall apart. He didn't sleep at night but strove to control absolutely all work process, monitoring every employee, double-checking every report. And this led to emotional burnout and severe stress. And the company's turnover began to plummet. But as soon as the businessman allowed himself to rest and loosen his grip, he was surprised to notice that everything began to turn out easily, without struggle and tight control, as if by itself. And as if from nowhere, new opportunities and profitable prospects began to appear. I don't know what about you, but it often happens in my life that I'm worrying too much about the outcome of some business ahead of time. I twist in my head the options of what might happen, or turn on the fear and think, oh dear, now everything will finish badly. But in fact, sometimes the situation is generally self-neutralizing and everything resolves itself. If you ever had the same, then why you should worry ahead? Sometimes we even have no idea what fate has in store for us. Maybe on the way to our dream, she wants to ride us on merry-go-round, but we think that we are being led in the wrong direction. We don't trust the flow of life. I noticed that sometimes, even through tragedy and illness, I came to something really valuable in my life. Therefore, I suggest you to relax and learn to trust the world. But don't lose your vigilance and watch the signs around you. And so, from this conclusion follows the last seventh main principle of reality transurfing. Perceive any reflection as positive. The seventh principle of transurfing is also called the coordination of intention. The point is to consider each event through the prism of benefits, even if at first glance it seems negative. Yes, this skill is not developed immediately, but as soon as it becomes your habit, your goal will be realized much more faster. Sleeping people are accustomed to do the opposite, to expect dirty tricks, deceit and negativity from the surrounding, to see an enemy in each person, envious persons and competitors everywhere. They complain about life and prepare for the worst. But in fact, as Vadim Zeland writes, the world doesn't want to intrigue. The flow of options always move along the path of less resistance, because more energy is spent on negative events and obstacles. And the waste of energy is out of character of the laws of nature. No matter how gloomy the reflection may seem, it will become even worse if you treat it as negative. And in the same way, negativity will turn into positive if you voluntarily declare it as such. Any circumstances or events carry both undesirable and useful potential for you. Expressing your attitude in such way, you determine the further course of events in the successful direction or not. Remember, no matter what happens around you, everything goes as it should, everything is good, but it will be even better. Let it become your motto, and then your reality will be transformed literally before your eyes. So I have finished the analysis of the 7 main principles of reality transurfing, which characterize the main qualities of our world, the main metaphysical laws by which all events occurring in our life. Vadim Selan claims that with the help of external intention and the techniques of transurfing, we can easily move from one lifeline to the more successful one. In his books, he vividly described the science of transition to another lifeline. What I especially remember is that we are starting to meet on our way people with the unusual appearance, dwarfs, giants, freaks. It's often a sign of transition between lifelines. In the next video or even 2, I want to share transurfing techniques with you, specific tools that will help you to change your reality. But the principles that we talked about in 2 videos are the base you shouldn't forget about, because it's the half of success. If we know the rules of the game, it's easier for us to win, isn't it? Therefore, I will look forward to seeing you next Monday, because I release my videos once a week, so subscribe to my channel, and I think together we will discover a lot of interesting things. Stay tuned, kind, the rest things, what? Never mind.